Before you can convince someone, before you can persuade someone, before you can influence someone with your presentation to accept your ideas, your initiatives, you've got to first up build a connection with them. And in this short video, I will show you 7 different ways that you can build a connection with your audience when you next present your ideas and when you next speak to them. The first way and the most effective way that you can build a connection with an audience is to smile. You want to show your audience that you're warm, that you're approachable, and that you're relatable. One of the ways and most effective ways that you can do that is by simply smiling. It opens up your face, it relaxes you, and it relaxes your audience. So when you smile and present your ideas in a manner which shows that you're enjoying yourself, you want to stand behind them, and by simply smiling makes you relatable, your audience will start to connect with you. Compare that to the speaker who stands there very stony-faced and doesn't look happy, doesn't look like they're enjoying themselves. Your audience isn't going to make a connection with that kind of speaker. So for you to make a real connection and to have a real impact, smile, allow your face to open up and be warm, and your audience will start to relate to you. In a similar manner to smiling, our second step to building a connection is to have enthusiasm, have energy. When you present, when you share your ideas, have energy and enthusiasm. That could be energy and enthusiasm in your voice and in your physical and bodily gestures. Make sure that there is an enthusiasm that comes through that shows that you want to do this. Your ideas, you want to stand behind them, that you're encouraged and you're enthusiastic for them. If you don't deliver your ideas, you don't try and persuade with any real energy behind it, you're not going to get your audience's buy-in. They're going to feel a disconnect. They're not going to understand why, if you've got such great ideas, you've got such wonderful things that can be done, that you're not more energized and enthusiastic behind it. So, when you deliver, make sure that you have energy and enthusiasm in your voice, and that your energy and enthusiasm is conveyed through your use of the speaking area with your body language and your gestures to accompany it. One of the most important and effective ways to make a connection with an audience is through eye contact. You must look your audience members in the eye. Make a connection with them. They say that the eyes are the windows to the soul. Well, whether that's true or not, they are a window that will provide a level of relatability. Because your audience members will be looking to you and judging you via your eye contact with them. If you cannot make a connection with them through eye contact, they're going to not trust your ideas. Think about your children. If you have any children in your life, whether they're your children or others, when they have done something wrong, the way that you can judge that and assess that is when you ask them to tell you what's happened. Do they look at you or do they look away from you? That's what your audience is doing. They are judging you and trying to build that connection with you through your eye contact. Now, if you don't make eye contact, they can't make a connection with you. They're not going to trust you. So it's really important for you to take the time to make eye contact with key people around the room. Utilizing stories is an awesome way to make a connection with your audience. It provides relatable ideas, relatable messages, and makes it emotionally appealing. So you can really build a strong, deep connection with your audience when you share stories. Now, this is not just about telling fairy stories. This is about telling stories that will illustrate your key points. When you can share stories that are relatable to your audience, that illustrate the key points, that connection is going to be deepened on 2 levels. Firstly, they will get the ideas. They will understand the key points that you're trying to convey. And most importantly, they will become memorable. They'll become memorable because they are emotional. So you're able to use stories to build a connection and illustrate points logically and, importantly, emotionally, so that you have a complete connection with your audience. So utilize stories to build that and deepen and strengthen the connection you have with your audiences. Stories also provide one really powerful avenue for you to build a super connection. And that is It's an opportunity to make people laugh. When you can make your audiences laugh, they drop down all the barriers. Any levels of resistance they might have had to the ideas, to the points that you're sharing, drop dramatically because they are laughing. They won't laugh if they have got a level of resistance. But stories enable you and allow you the opportunity to find those humorous moments, those funny anecdotes that happen within day-to-day life that can create that level of enthusiasm, that create that level of enjoyment so that your audience can relax. And when they relax, they open up their minds and they deepen and strengthen their connection. So utilize stories to find not only illustrating key points, but find ways to make them laugh, because when they laugh, they really are trusting you and relating with you. A key method in making a deeper connection is to ensure that you're using language which is relatable to your audience. If you're using jargon, words that are not specific to them, it's foreign to them, there's going to be a disconnect. You're effectively relying on them to do a level of translation. True power comes when you can share your ideas, your products, your services, your solutions in their terms. When you force them to think, you're creating a disconnect. Yet when you use their terms, their language, their phrasing, it makes it so much easier. It shows a relatability, it shows a care and concern for them and for their issues and challenges. So that simple act of ensuring that you use their words, their phrasing, the styling and the language that they use in their day-to-day work and their day-to-day life makes a massive difference. It shows that you care and that you've taken the time to think about how you can help their world. So make sure that you use their words, their phrasing, their language that they've used to describe their challenges and their situation and their aspirations, and effectively replay it back to them. So the more you use their language, the better the connection will be, because they will know and understand that you care. Finally, the most important point and the most powerful way that you can build a connection with your audience is to make sure that the presentation, that your pitch is a conversation. It's got to be equal time. Now, depending upon if you're speaking to a large group of people or you're speaking to a smaller group, may change the factor of whether it's an actual conversation. But either way, you want your audience to feel that they can have a conversation with you. So that means you've got to resist the temptation to speak at them and speak to them as a group. So in other words, try to avoid using phrases such as we. What you want to do is turn that around and personalize it. So you make it you. A simple example is, who here comes from Sydney? Now that's one way that you might ask a question of a group of people. But you can change that around very simply and very quickly by saying, raise your hands if you come from Sydney. That simple phrasing changes it from talking to a collection of people to talking to an individual. Now again, the room might be full of 100 people, 150 people, 200, however many, it doesn't matter. You've personalized it, you've phrased it in terms of you're talking to one. So make sure that when you are presenting, no matter how many people are in the room, that you're always speaking to one person. That will help you build a connection with every single person in the room. So we've covered 7 very simple, very effective ways that will help you build a connection and deepen a connection with an audience. Because when you have a connection, they are going to be open to your ideas. They're going to be open to being influenced and persuaded by what you're saying and what you would like them to do. Without that connection, your chances of persuading them and influencing them are almost nil. So leverage these 7 tips, these 7 different ways that you can build and strengthen your connection to increase your influence and be more persuasive. Now, if you want more help, would like some assistance, then I'd encourage you to check out the Public Speaking Skills Academy, where I have a range of articles, videos that will help you develop your authority positioning, your influencing skills. Check them out there. I also have a range of online services that are designed to help business owners and leaders develop their authority, increase their influence, and ultimately sell more ideas and win more in business.